Let's turn the clock back once more. 300 years this time, all the way to 1726. We've seen 1926 and 1826. But 1726 is older still, and even more of the world you know has vanished. So settle in and drift back with me, 3 centuries into a world of candlelight, horses, and powdered wigs. There are no factories, no machines, no engines of any kind. Nothing moves faster than a galloping horse. Most people are born, live, and die within a few miles of the same village and never see a city at all. This is Europe, 300 years ago. Let's take a look around. It's morning and the room is black as pitch. There is no electricity and won't be for nearly 200 years. To make light, you make fire, striking flint on steel over a scrap of tinder, coaxing the spark to catch. Matches don't exist yet. Light itself is precious. A tallow candle smokes and stinks. A rushlight, a reed dipped in fat, gives a thin and trembling glow. So, the household lives by the sun. When it sets, work stops, and most are asleep not long after dark. And the streets at night are truly dark. No lamps, no glow, just shadow. Gaslighting is still lifetimes away. If you must go out after dark in the city, you hire a link boy, a child with a flaming torch, to light your way home. Fire is the beating heart of the home, and its greatest danger. A stray spark can burn a whole street of timber and thatch to the ground. So the hearth is guarded like treasure, banked at night and coaxed back to life each cold morning. You cook over the open fire, in a pot on a hook, in a room forever hazed with wood smoke. Water is fetched by the bucketful from a well, a river, or the public conduit, and it is rarely clean. So people drink ale from morning to night. Small, weak beer, safer than the water, even for the children. There is no bathroom and no running water. You wash rarely from a basin, and a full bath is almost unheard of. The toilet is a pot or a plank over a stinking cesspit in the yard. And in the crowded towns, the chamber pot is simply emptied out of the upstairs window, with a shout of warning if you're lucky. The streets run with mud, muck, and worse, and the smell of a city can be caught from miles away. Keeping food from spoiling is a daily craft of salting, smoking, and pickling, because nothing here keeps for long. The whole world runs on muscle. Almost everyone works the land by hand, from first light to last. The plow is dragged by oxen or horses. The corn is cut with a sickle and threshed with a flail. The only machines are the windmill and the watermill, patiently grinding grain into flour. There are no factories yet. The great age of steam and iron is still 40 years away. Children work almost as soon as they can walk, minding animals, scaring birds, fetching and carrying in the fields. Many are sent away young as apprentices or servants, bound for years to a master in exchange for food, a bed, and a trade. Cloth is spun and woven at home by hand, and every garment is made, mended, and remade until it falls apart. For almost everyone, the future is fixed at birth. You will do the work your parents did in the place where you were born. To travel, you walk, and most people barely travel at all. For distance, you ride, or you pay for a seat on a stagecoach, slow, jolting, and shared with strangers. The roads are little more than muddy tracks, churned to swamp in winter and choking dust in summer. And the roads are dangerous. Out on a lonely stretch, a masked highwayman may appear, pistol drawn, demanding your purse. A journey between 2 cities takes days, and you plan it like an expedition, staying overnight at coaching inns along the way. Heavy goods creep along by packhorse and by river barge, for there is scarcely a canal in the land. To cross the sea, you trust the wind and a wooden sailing ship, and a voyage can take weeks or months. And here is a strange truth. Out on the open ocean, no one can truly tell how far east or west they are. Finding your longitude at sea is an unsolved puzzle, and ships are lost on the rocks because of it. There are no engines anywhere, only muscle, wind, and water carry you and everything you own. To send word, you write a letter with a quill cut from a goose feather, dipped in ink by candlelight. You fold it, seal it with hot wax, and there are no envelopes. The folded page is its own cover. It travels by post rider or coach for days or weeks, and often the person receiving it must pay to read it. There is no telegraph, no telephone, nothing swift. News crawls across the land no faster than a horse can run. In the towns, the town crier still walks the streets, ringing his bell and calling the news aloud. For most people cannot read. A name is signed with a simple cross, and knowledge is carried by voice, not by page. A great event in a distant land might take weeks to arrive, and arrive twisted by every teller along the way. But something new is bubbling up in the cities. The coffee house. For a penny, you buy a dish of this strange, bitter, fashionable drink, and with it, the latest news, gossip, and argument. These smoky rooms are the internet of their age, where merchants trade, where scholars debate, where the newspapers are read aloud. For newspapers are brand new. The first daily papers have only just appeared, printed on rough sheets and hungrily shared. Books are still costly treasures, and a family that owns even a few is a fortunate one. This very year, a new book is delighting readers, a strange tale of a traveler shipwrecked among tiny people. You may know it as Gulliver's Travels. School is a luxury. The wealthy have tutors. A lucky few learn their letters at a village school. Most learn only the work of their hands. It is a world held together by talk, by memory, and by the printed page. And there is not a screen anywhere on earth. Food is plain and ruled by the seasons. A failed harvest still means real hunger, and sometimes famine. The daily meal is bread and pottage, a thick pot of vegetables and grain simmered for hours over the fire. Meat is a treat for most, and every part of the animal is used. Nothing is ever wasted. There are no supermarkets, no tins, no packets. You buy from the market and the baker, or you grow it yourself. But exotic new luxuries are arriving from across the oceans. Tea, coffee, and chocolate, sweetened with costly sugar. At first, only the rich can afford them, sipped from delicate cups as a mark of fashion and wealth. Spices once worth their weight in gold, pepper, nutmeg, cinnamon, now season the tables of the comfortable. And there is no way to keep milk or meat cold, so the market is a daily errand, and the larder a daily worry. Now, a gentle warning. To be ill in 1726 is a frightening thing. No one yet knows that germs even exist. Doctors still believe the body is ruled by 4 humors, and that illness is a matter of keeping them in balance. So, the cure for almost anything is to bleed the patient, with a blade, or with a jar of hungry leeches. For rougher work, you visit the barber surgeon, who will cut your hair, pull your tooth, and set your bone, all with the same hands. Surgery is done in seconds, wide awake, for there is no anesthetic, only speed, strong drink, and courage. Smallpox stalks every town, scarring and killing rich and poor alike, and no one is safe from it. But a daring new idea is spreading, deliberately giving a healthy person a tiny dose to protect them for life. Inoculation has arrived. Even so, life is short and fragile. Many children never grow up, and to reach old age is a genuine blessing. Step into the street, and the fashions astonish us. Wealthy men wear great powdered wigs, silk coats, and shoes with buckles and heels. They powder their faces, wear patches and perfume, and a fine gentleman is as dressed up as anyone at court. On their heads sit 3-cornered hats, at their sides, a sword, and beneath it all, for the ladies, tightly laced stays. But finery is only for the few. The poor wear rough wool and linen, patched and passed down for years. Society is a rigid ladder, and almost everyone stays on the rung they were born to, from the great lord to the lowest servant. Money is coins you can bite to test, gold guineas, silver shillings, and copper pennies, clipped and counterfeited and weighed with care. Time is told by the church bell and the sundial. A fine long case clock is a proud possession, and a pocket watch a small fortune. And time itself is local. Every town keeps its own hour by the sun, and no two clocks in the land agree. And yet, for all its darkness, 1726 is a world waking up. New ideas are catching fire across Europe. This is the dawn of what people will call the Enlightenment, an age that dares to test old truths with reason and experiment. In quiet studies, thinkers are reshaping how we understand gravity, light, and the very motion of the planets. That daring new smallpox inoculation is quietly saving lives and pointing, dimly, towards the medicine of the future. Nations are offering a great fortune to anyone who can finally solve the puzzle of longitude at sea. In grand churches and courts, a magnificent new kind of music is soaring, bold, intricate, and utterly alive. But over all of it falls a long, dark shadow. This is the height of the transatlantic slave trade, a cruelty on which too much of this world is built. As night falls, the last candle is pinched out to save it, and the household sinks into a darkness we can scarcely imagine. Outside, the sky blazes with countless stars, and the only sounds are the wind, an owl, and the crackle of the dying fire. And still, in that firelit dark, people laughed and sang and fell in love and hoped for their children, exactly as we do. The very same hearts as ours, beating 300 years ago under the very same stars. That was Europe, 3 centuries back. Next time, we'll turn the clock back once more, another 100 years, to 1626, where even the last familiar comforts fade away. If you're enjoying these journeys through time, please subscribe and come back with us. And every like, comment, and share genuinely helps this channel grow. Thanks for traveling back with me, traveler. Rest easy, and we'll rewind again soon.